Catalan Dragons will be out without their captain Remy Casti for a month after he suffered a fractured rib cartilage in the club's win on Easter Monday. Warrington Wolves have also been dealt a significant injury blow with the news that hooker Brad Dwyer is set to miss 8 weeks of action. Dwyer has had ankle surgery. Mason Caton Brown, friend of the show, will be out for up to 12 weeks. Caton Brown was hurt with a forceful cannonball-type tackle in the 52nd minute of the game on Easter Monday. Did you see
no ban for that? No ban for forcefully attacking the knees. What they've said it was with the natural bend motion of the legs.
Because he went into the crook a bit like that.
Is true.
Mm-hmm.
That was what it was. But the force that he went in with, regardless of the angle of the legs, to me, suggests there should have been a ban. What Salford should have done is confirm this injury before the charge. Yeah. Because then he would have got banned. Because let's fucking face it, that's how the RFL operate this year.
If you hurt someone, you're getting banned.
If you hurt someone on Sky shows endless slow-mos of it, you're going to get banned.
Don't you dare. Let's save that. You just say we're down.
But all this injury stuff, I mean, it's terrible that there's been so many serious injuries. So what we've got an ACL on Easter Monday.
Yeah.
We've got a rib cartilage on Easter Monday. Now, rib cartilage doesn't go because of fatigue, does it? It goes because of
it's an impact injury, yeah.
Right, okay. Brad Dwyer, when did he suffer his injury? He suffered it before Easter, didn't he? He suffered it the week before Easter.
Who did he play the week before? Was it not against Widnes that he did it?
Was it against Widnes?
I think so, yeah.
So 2 of these injuries were on the first round of Easter games, so nothing to do with Easter fatigue.
Yeah. Mason Caton Brown's was someone perpetrated the injury on him.
And the same with Remy Casti. They're as a result of the tackles rather than fatigue.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what the reason why his ACL went, which they happen not regularly, but they happen often enough to know that they don't just happen at Easter.
Yeah.
Because Total RL have done a piece, haven't they, talking about 40 injuries over the Easter period.
Yeah.
Not distinguishing what game those injuries took place in, game 1, 2 or 3, and not distinguishing if those injuries were impact injuries, fatigue injuries. I mean, there are a lot of muscle strains.
Yeah.
You can look at Sandow, O'Loughlin from the Friday night game that I saw. Mm-hmm. You can look at Gelling from Monday night's game. I don't know it itemised a lot of the other ones because obviously I was out of the fold on the Monday fixtures.
Yeah.
But they probably have something to do a little bit with fatigue and lack of preparation, I would say.
Mm-hmm. No,
having said that, people pull hamstrings every week. But when you break it down, right, 40 injuries.
I'd be interested
indulge
to see
me on this.
40
injuries over 3 rounds of fixtures.
Yeah.
So on average,
that's 18 games.
On average, 13 injuries per round of fixtures.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on average, 1 injury, just a bit more than 1 injury per team per game. That's not abnormal, is it?
I don't think that's massively high, no.
That's not out of the question of what normally happens when you think about it.
I think it's one of those things. If you're looking for it, this is one of the things, if you're looking for it, you'll find it. And with that article that you're referring to, I'd have been more interested to see and break it down by day of the Easter period, day 1, day 2, day 3. And see where it fell. Because if Crescendo's into day 3 and there's like 30 of these injuries happen on day 3, maybe you've got an argument for that. But if like half of them, for whatever freak of statistical reasons, happened on the first round of fixtures at Easter, then it blows the whole argument out of the water.
One of them listed is Anthony England, who injured his ankle on the week before Easter, then played on it 3 games and now is injured again.
Yeah.
Now, you could say he would have got injured again if he'd have played 1 game on it, 1 weekend, or 2 games on it in 2 successive weekends. For in the 3rd game in the middle.
Yeah. Well,
irrelevant.
He was back for the Salford game, wasn't he? So
he played on Good Friday. I'm not sure. I can't remember if he played on Easter Monday or not. And he played on Saturday.
The weekend, yeah.
But that to me isn't just about fatigue. That's about a player playing injured.
Yeah.
So there's all these things to go into it, and it doesn't say how many injuries. They have a good list actually, usually, of the injuries that people have got and expected times back, but they don't. They need to tell you how many injuries there are every week, how many injuries there are in training. Now, these players haven't done as much training between these games as they normally would.
Oh, barely any.
Yeah, so I just sort of think...
It'll be like team running that.
Whilst people talk about player welfare or whatever...
Maybe a bit of perspective is a good thing in this case.
Yeah. But also, increase the salary cap so players can... Maybe the squads can be a bit thicker of players, force people to have reserve teams. But obviously don't play them over the Easter period, so then maybe there's more players available through that way of thinking. Don't get rid of Easter. We've had last 4 rounds, the week before Easter, the 2 Easter rounds and this weekend's rounds. Average attendance on all 4 rounds was over 10,000.
That's amazing.
Okay, only in round 1 before that had there been over 10,000. So what, 5 rounds between? It was around 8.5, 9-ish, pushing 9, but not over that.
Right.
And then it's, people want to see these games around this time of the year.
Yeah. I mean, I think the attendance average is probably bumped up by the fact that there are some big derbies in there as well.
Yeah,
but that does help. No, but what I'm saying, but I do love Easter in it for that reason. It's nice. There's lots of action coming quick and fast and big rivalry games.
Exactly.
It is great. I don't mind it at all. And these lads are, they'll be all right.
They're professionals.
They are.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, and I think we've just proven that they don't get hurt really anymore because of Easter than they do.
I don't think so, based on that list of injuries. But there's some bad injuries, and Tommy Makinson I feel sorry for. Ryan Shaw are just about cracked it Super League.
These are two really exciting players to watch as well. So the game is poorer for them not being in it for the rest of the season, I would certainly say.
You look at Caton Brown, he's fought away all year to try and get a game, and as soon as he found his way back in the team, and he would have had a longer run in the team with Carney's injury at the weekend that we don't know the extent of yet.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Okay. Widnes forward Danny Tickle has left the club by mutual consent. Tickle has not played a game in 2016 after being seriously assaulted late last year. His agent revealed that the former Widnes back rower is not set for retirement and is speaking to Super League clubs about continuing his playing career.
Carl Harrison's his agent.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did know he was an agent, but I didn't know he was a lot of people's. Right, Paul Anderson had confirmed that Huddersfield are one of the clubs that have been in contact with Tickle and his representatives for his release from Widnes. So if you get him on trial, does that make him a testicle?
Possibly.
I'm just saying. You never know. It's a shame he hasn't got a brother they could also sign, and then they'd have a pair of testicles. Oh dear, don't overdo it, Tom. So I didn't really know a great deal about Danny, the assault and stuff like that, but it's a shame that that's had an impact on him.
We briefly mentioned it, but it wasn't something we've overly
talked about. But good luck to him finding the Super League club, because to be honest with you, I've expected him to end up at the fucking Bulls, because we like signing second rowers.
Who can kick a goal?
It don't matter at the minute if he can kick a goal or not. I'm not getting enough tries to make it matter.
I think
more on that later.
Okay.
Much more on that later.
Hey, talking about some Bradford royalty.
Here's a relative who's who of coaching talent. Right, the identities of 4 men interviewed for the Batley Bulldogs head coach role have been revealed. Freddie Cummins, Matt Diskin, Andy Hay and Craig Lingard, the latter of two who I apologise to. I actually rate them as coaches, are all in contention for the role that John Keir will leave at the end of the 2016 season when he takes on the role of Director of Rugby at Wakefield.
Interesting, yeah. I don't see where Franny Cummins is going to take you. Matt Diskin, we don't know. I suppose he's unproven.
Well, he's the under-19s. He's under-19s coach of the Bulls.
Yeah, he's not had a job as a head coach. Andy Hay,
very experienced at that level.
Yeah, not massively successful, but
knows the league.
And obviously Lingard knows the club. He's in there as assistant, isn't he, at the moment to Keir. So it'll be interesting to see how that one develops with Batley, who obviously
I don't think they'll go Cummins.
One of the fashionable clubs this year.
Yeah, I don't think they'll go Cummins. I wouldn't be surprised if they went Craig Lingard and promoted from within, and he spent the rest of the year, bulking up his knowledge and his ability under John Keir, and they just kind of naturally progressed it like that. That would make some sense for them.
And they have an opportunity to try and tie in with Keir's relationships with other clubs or areas. He can tie him in with a Wales setup. He can maybe have a spell working with other clubs to see what other stuff people do to get his experience up. Yeah, that might be a sensible way to go for the Bulldogs. I've got a t-shirt idea, by the way.
All right.
For John Keir. We've been trying to think of one.
Yeah.
Right. Uncle Joe's Mintballs logo.
Yeah.
Uncle John's 2 skulls. His face in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm going to work up next time I get some time on Photoshop.
That's quite clever. Fair enough. Okay, supporters of the Salford Red Devils have launched a fundraiser as a way of apologising for the fighting that occurred in the stands after the club's win at Huddersfield on the Easter weekend. The page has been launched by Red Devils supporter Ryan Wilkinson and is aiming to show remorse for the events that happened in the away end of the John Smiths Stadium. So I'm not entirely sure which charity they're raising money for, but if you want to go and find out a little bit more about it.
I think they're raising money to buy gifts.
I see.
To say sorry. So, gifts for Carney's wife or mistress, I don't know, and kids.
His children, more. Kids, yeah.
And the trainers, kids and that were there. That sort of thing is more what they're trying. Basically, to put a positive spin on what was a negative story. I mean, we'd be remiss of us to not cover it.
No, absolutely not, because it was deplorable behaviour by a small faction of Salford fans. Now, my experience of Salford fans is universally positive, from the times that we've been to the club and from the people that we know through the podcast.
But
obviously
that rose a bit.
Well, he comes out of his bridge to troll you every so often, which scores him massive brownie points in my house.
He was out this week.
I bet he was, yeah. I nearly trolled you a little bit, but I thought I best hadn't. But if you're interested in doing, if you're if you're a naughty Salford fan and want to get involved, or you want to contribute, you can go to justgiving.com/Salford Rugby League and do that.
Yeah, it's crowdfunding.justgiving.com / I think it's slightly different.
Oh, I apologise. I thought I abbreviated it. Right, crowdfunding.justgiving.com / Salford Rugby League.
But yeah, hopefully they get that sorted, and the image is rebuilt, and it's not what we want to see. It's not. We like to brush these things away by saying they're rare. I think what we need to do is counter the negative stories with the positive stories.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, there was bad stories out of the Dewsbury and Batley derby, wasn't there, about fighting in the stands and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I saw a scrap happening between, I think it was all St Helens fans, but it was hard for me to tell.
Yeah.
But I saw a scrap happening as I was walking out of Langtree Park. I say all St Helens fans because most of the Wigan fans were still under the stands singing.
Yeah.
It was absolutely brilliant atmosphere in there. But yeah, walking out, I saw those fleshy sounding punches that sound like no one could be hurt from it.
Yeah.
But the lad put everything into it, bless him. It was one of them, and I turned around and saw it's not worth it, leave it, that sort of behaviour going on. And I'm sure that happened in dispatches at all these alcohol-fueled Easter games.
Yeah,
I'm sure it did. Maybe not on Monday because it was pissing it down. Was it over here by all accounts?
I can't remember, Mark.
But on the Friday, it was a nice day, wasn't it? People had beers, and that was the real derby time as well, wasn't it? So, these Salford fans went over a line. Let's show the positive side of it, like that 18th girl picture she put up of just Junior Sal with the kid,
kid in the wheelchair
and all
exactly.
that.
And look, Carly
let's fight the negative and not deny it happens, because it does happen. We have minority of idiots. We're a working class sport with people who like to drink and stuff. Sometimes it'll spill over. It's not that these people want to cause any harm or mischief to anyone ever. Sometimes it just spills over, doesn't it?
It does, and they also need to be held accountable for their behaviour, because they did put people at risk.
Yeah.
And the other question that comes along with this was, where were the old bill at this point? Because it was just stewards having to deal with it. So that is another question. That raised another question.
But that's a legacy of Rugby League supporting. We don't need police at stadiums.
No,
we don't need overly stewarded.
We don't particularly want it, do we?
No.
So
these isolated incidents pop up once or twice a year. But there are more incidents around that, and I think it's not about hiding that those things happen. It's about, like you say, condemning the events that happen that are bad, and at the same time highlighting the positive side of it too, because our sport has a great family feel to it.
It does, absolutely. Okay, that's your news from around the world of Rugby League. Strap yourselves into the DeLorean as we hit 88 miles an hour and go back to round 7 of Super League. Okay, Maundy Thursday. I can remember when all this was pine trees, Mark. We've cast our minds back.
How are we gonna do this?
We're going to talk about as much as the games as we can remember, give you some stats, and then give you people's feedback. I think.
So I think the better way to do it is if we're only going to give individual stats to speed things up.
Yes.
And we're going to go through, basically this game actually I might have a few that snuck through before I went away, but every other game that weekend is only the ones on the Google form. So there's some matches that have short amounts or don't have any at all because people sent them by tweet or by whatever. I didn't have time to go and find all of those and put them on the Google forms. Because I was putting together 3 rounds in one go. So, if you put them on the Google form over the weekend, they'll be on. Hopefully, those comments, as we read through them, will trigger our memories about the game.
Yes.
And we'll be able to talk about it. So far, looking at these ones for this first game, not so good, Tom.
No.
But tell us what the result was, I suppose.
Well, it was Castleford 18, Leeds 14. And Cass, from what I can recall, did deserve to win the game. Leeds looked fairly toothless at certain points in time, and there was a couple of good moments from Jake Webb. I'm looking at the individual numbers now. Jake Webb's definitely had a good game. We'll talk about individual performances, but it was an enjoyable game. It was a bit sort of slippery, and and a wet one. And I was kind of remembering the game from last year as well, where it was played in the mud, and it was just a bit attritional. Both sides missing some of their flairier players, so it kind of got a little bit